The safari was supposed to be safe and controlled, but when we saw a drowning lioness in the river, our guide, Kaleb, snapped. Without warning, he hurled himself into the water, swimming straight into danger. No backup, no weapon. We screamed for him to stop, but he ignored us. Then he started yelling, loud, terrified. And that's when all hell broke loose. But before we start, smash the like button, subscribe, and don't forget the notification bell so you never miss any of our upcoming stories. As Kaleb plunged into the river, chaos erupted among us. Some of the group shouted in panic, while others appeared frozen, unsure of what to do. It was like a scene out of a movie, and we were just spectators, caught in the frenzy. Confusion reigned. "Why did he do that?" someone asked, their voice shaky. But no one had an answer. We simply watched, dumbfounded, as he swam closer to the lioness. In the midst of the commotion, a man named Jack suddenly sprang into action. Pulling a rope from the back of the jeep, he tossed it towards us. "We'll need this to get Kaleb and the lioness out," he hollered, urgency in his voice. While others faltered, he started tying the end to the jeep's hitch, his hands moving with purpose. While Jack was handling the rope, cameras started clicking all around us. Some tourists wanted to capture every moment, even in the middle of this unexpected chaos. Others yelled questions frantically, as though debating what we'd all witnessed. "Should we call for help?" someone barked, their voice loud over the water's roar. "Kaleb might know what he's doing," another suggested, but doubt lingered in the air. Amongst the shouting, Serena, a veterinarian from the group, stepped forward. "Listen up, Kaleb might need more help," she called out, waving her arms for attention. "We need to spread out along the bank in case he needs to be pulled in." Suddenly, there was a new sense of urgency as we realized the stakes. Her words cut through the hysteria, and everyone seemed to focus, ready to follow her lead. Adrenaline surged through us, replacing any lingering hesitations. We quickly formed a human chain along the riverbank, each holding tight to the rope Jack brought. "Hold on tight," murmured one man beside me, his grip reassuring. We peered towards the river, our focus back on Kaleb, waiting tensely for the next move. Kaleb swam with a purpose, his strokes powerful and determined. It wasn't something you'd expect to see from a safari guide, but there he was, cutting through the water. Through splashes and ripples, we could see him closing in on the struggling lioness. "Come on, Kaleb!" I found myself cheering, my voice joining the supportive shouts from fellow tour members. We were all in this moment, willing him forward. A collective gasp rippled through the group as a large crocodile emerged from the river. Its scaly head broke the surface not too far from Kaleb and the lioness. Hearts skipped as fear clenched at our throats. "Oh no, look out!" someone screamed. Our eyes darted between Kaleb and the massive reptile, unsure how this new threat would unfold. In a flurry of motion, Paul fumbled through his backpack, pulling out a flare gun with shaky hands. "Get back!" he shouted towards the crocodile. We all held our breath as he pointed it at the crocodile, the potential failsafe a beacon of hope. With a loud pop, the flare shot into the air, hoping the beast would be deterred. Meanwhile, Kaleb reached the lioness, the weight of the situation all-consuming. The crocodile was a looming terror, but his focus was unwavering. He assessed the lioness with quick, practiced eyes. "Easy now," he whispered, likely more for himself than the lioness. The tension in the air was palpable, the risk enormous. Kaleb waved frantically, trying to get our attention while his voice was lost over the sound of the rushing river. I could see the fear etched on his face as he signaled something urgent. What was he trying to say? The noise swallowed his words. Beside me, Jack craned his neck, trying to understand. "Is he okay?" he asked, but there was no time to respond. Kaleb, in the thick of it, circled the struggling lioness, trying to see what was going on. Water splashed everywhere as both of them fought the current. "Kaleb, what do you see?" I yelled from the bank, but my words were drowned out. He pushed forward, trying to interpret her frantic movements, figuring out the reason behind her distress. It wasn't just about rescue now, something else seemed wrong. Back on shore, Serena voiced what we were all thinking. What if she's hurt or tangled? Her voice was heavy with worry as she watched Kaleb and the lioness. The possibility of the lioness being injured or caught made the situation worse, sending waves of anxiety through our group. We exchanged tense glances, each of us hoping that Kaleb could safely resolve whatever was happening out there. Out of nowhere, a helicopter flew overhead, the thumping of its blades cutting through the chaos. It circled the river, trying to assess the unfolding drama, but all it added was more noise. We shielded our eyes from the dust it kicked up. "Can they help?" someone shouted over the commotion. Hope flickered, but no one could communicate over the roaring wind and water. The confusion just kept building, despite the helicopter's presence. Our group was now divided in attention. Half of us had our eyes skyward, hoping the helicopter meant help was on the way, while the others remained riveted on Kaleb's efforts in the water. "Stay focused on Kaleb," Jack yelled, trying to keep us grounded. The sways of attention added tension, our heads snapping back and forth. We needed to stay united, but the situation was pulling us in different directions. Just then, Kaleb let out a strangled cry, echoing above the river's roar. Everyone's head turned his way, trying to see what he was facing now. "Did you hear that? What's happening?" Serena asked urgently, her eyes wide with concern. We all squinted, focusing, trying to discern the struggle unfolding beneath the surface. Whatever it was, it had changed the dynamic. The water around Kaleb and the Lioness became a whirl of splashes as they battled against the river's force. It was like a tug-of-war with the water itself, as if the river was unwilling to let go. "Come on, Kaleb," Jack shouted, his voice raw with earnestness. The scene was chaotic, tension palpable every moment they fought against the current. Yet, amid the chaos, Kaleb kept pushing forward, refusing to yield. Despite the dangers, Issa, another member of our group, couldn't stand idly by any longer. She jumped in, joining Kaleb, believing together they'd have a better chance. "We could use the help," she yelled over her shoulder back to us. A few of us hesitated, judging the risk she was taking, but admired her bravery. Issa's leap brought a new energy, and the two worked in tandem, confronting whatever threat lay beneath. The moment Issa swam closer, the crocodile inched nearer too, heightening the peril. "Look out!" Several voices cried out at once, warning those in the water of impending danger. Panic surged anew, our hearts racing just as quickly as Isa's stroke. She pushed onwards, her determination plain to see. Kaleb and Issa were now a duo, their adrenaline the only thing keeping the encroaching threat at bay. Serena kept shouting guidance, trying to offer help, but her words were lost to the storm of noise. None of it reached Kaleb and Issa. "Over there! Use the bank for leverage!" she tried, her voice straining as the helicopter droned above. We watched, helpless, wanting nothing more than to transmit her knowledge to them. Without communication, we could only stand by, hearts in throats. Every muscle in my arm screamed in protest, but letting go of that rope wasn't an option. Kaleb and Isa were out there, battling the river, and we were their anchor, literally. From where we stood, the river seemed relentless. Kaleb and Isa moved as if performing a carefully choreographed routine. The river's current was strong, yet they advanced with determination. Each stroke seemed calculated, matched by Isa's swift movement. "It's like they're dancing out there," someone remarked, awe in their voice. Yet at the heart of this dangerous dance was an unwelcome partner, the river, its invisible pull a constant threat against their perseverance. The helicopter hovering above suddenly swayed and shifted, an unexpected gust sending it askew. "Whoa!" I gasped aloud, watching the spinning blades struggle for stability. "Hope they don't come down here," Serena joked, though her edgy laughter told a different story. More eyes turned skyward, a distraction even amid our intense focus. On the water, without hesitation, Paul aimed and fired the flare gun. Its bright light shot through the air, casting wild shadows in an eerie glow. "Watch out!" The crocodile, startled by the sudden burst, shifted its lazy circle and moved further away. For a moment, relief washed over us, though we knew the reprieve wouldn't last long. Somewhere amidst the chaos, hope flickered anew. The flare arced through the dim sky, a comet trailing hope above those tense waters. Time seemed suspended as we all watched its path. "Did you see that?" Jack clapped a hand on my shoulder, his excitement contagious. Finally, the fiery streak landed with a harmless sizzle in the river, its light dimming into whispers of smoke. That momentary distraction had bought us valuable time. "That was genius, Paul," Serena cheered, though we all knew it was only a temporary fix. The crocodile lingered at a distance, wary yet persistent. We shared nervous smiles, buoyed by the small victory. "It's only a matter of time," I murmured, sensing everyone's unspoken understanding. Isa stayed close, their duo dynamic guiding the Lioness with careful precision. "We're almost there," Kaleb shouted back to us, his voice resonating with urgency. On the bank, we squeezed the rope tighter still, lending silent support to his efforts. The helicopter hovered on, a constant thrum above our heads. We squinted up, trying to decipher any signals or instructions it might convey. With the noise of blades mixing with rushing water, it was like a constant looming presence without a voice. "Can't they just drop a line for them?" A voice piped up, frustration creeping in. Yet, all we could do was wait. eyes darting between sky and river. Kaleb plunged beneath the surface again, leaving us guessing at his intentions. She might be hurt, Serena speculated, her gaze never wavering from the water. Her voice was a mixture of curiosity and concern. Or maybe something else is keeping her there, she added thoughtfully. Her words hovered like the helicopter's shadow, casting new possibilities over the unfolding scene, igniting further worry in the crowd on the riverbank. Issa clung to Kaleb, drawing strength as the river tugged at her relentlessly. Watching her, it was impossible not to feel a surge of admiration. "Hold on, Issa!" someone yelled. She turned, giving a nod that spoke volumes of her grit and courage. "Almost there," Kaleb reassured. Together, they pushed against the river's force, every advance a victory hard won. With every breathless moment, their objective drew a little closer. Kaleb burst from the water, gasping for air. His face was strained, sending a wave of unease through us. "What's happening now?" I asked, my eyes fixed on him. Jack shook his head, unable to provide an answer, as we watched Kaleb struggling with whatever was unfolding beneath the surface. It was clear something was wrong, more than we'd anticipated. His eyes darted towards the shore, urgency etched in every glance. With a lurch, Kaleb pushed the Lioness toward a narrow edge of the riverbank. The ground there looked treacherous, muddy, and unstable. "Careful, Kaleb, that bank looks dicey," I shouted, voice straining to reach him. But there he was, finding footing and guiding the Lioness to safety, despite the risk. The Lioness wheeled around, her fierce yet grateful gaze fixed on Kaleb. Issa whispered, "She's staring right at him." The mix of danger and gratitude held us frozen. Would she attack or acknowledge his help? Suddenly, Issa shouted, "The crocodile's coming back!" Panic surged. "Get to higher ground!" Serena urged as ripples spread across the river. Our eyes darted between the water and Kaleb, praying he'd reach safety. At the bank, Kaleb waved urgently, signaling something critical. "What's he up to?" Jack asked, while Serena muttered, "What's he trying to tell us?" Tension thickened as we tried to understand his warning. Kaleb suddenly shielded Issa as the Lioness stepped between them. Is she protecting them now? Jack breathed. It felt like an alliance born of survival. Respect replacing fear. Then something rose from the water with a splash. "What is that?" I cried. The river held secrets, and Kaleb seemed to know more than we did. "Stay focused. We need to help Kaleb and Issa," Serena shouted. Paul loaded a flare, ready for action, while the rest of us braced for the next move. Kaleb's movements grew sharper. The Lioness seemed to guard something unseen. "Do you think she has a cub down there?" someone asked, voice trembling. At last, Kaleb shouted, "Something's below." Something before the river's roar drowned his words. Issa and Kaleb shared a worried glance as whispers rippled through our group. Serena's voice cut through the anxious quiet, suggesting the Lioness might be guarding something. Her theory deepened the mystery, pulling our thoughts toward darker possibilities. Kaleb braved the river's relentless current, disappearing beneath its surface as we held our breath. When he emerged, dripping and exhausted, he revealed a grim find, a torn piece of netting glistening in the sunlight. Realization swept over us. The Lioness wasn't merely trapped. She was defending something precious, and our mission had just grown heavier with meaning. Determination settled in like a shared heartbeat. Serena edged closer, ready to help, while Issa voiced the thought we all shared, what is she protecting? The answer lay beneath the roaring water, and we knew we were on the verge of discovering it. Serena acted fast. "We need a plan," she called, eyes sweeping us. "Let's get Kaleb and Issa back now. Form up, stay sharp." "Eyes peeled," Jack warned, scanning the surface. Resolve hardened, we'd protect our friends and uncover the Lioness's mystery. Together, we hauled Issa and Kaleb from the water, straining on the rope. Exhausted but driven, we turned to what they'd found. The helicopter circled above, a watchful eye. "They know something's up," Paul muttered, loading a flare. Hope flickered, but the rescue was still ours. Kaleb pointed to tangled foliage. "Over there!" he urged. Issa crouched to inspect. "Nets," she said grimly. The Lioness growled softly, eyes flickering with trust. Kaleb edged closer, careful, deliberate. Issa worked to free the snare, Serena shouting encouragement. Each move brought relief each second, closer to answers. Kaleb dove again, searching deeper. "What's he after?" Jack whispered. Tension climbed as seconds stretched. The river churned, hiding secrets and perhaps danger below. Chaos surged, voices, rotor blades, rushing water. Serena shouted orders above the din, Jack barking, "Keep pulling the rope!" Urgency gripped us all as hearts pounded with this struggle. Then Kaleb dove deeper, focus shifting from the Lioness to what he'd found. Serena's eyes locked on the churning water. "What's he got?" she muttered. Seconds dragged until Kaleb surfaced, dragging a shadowed figure behind him. As it neared, horror replaced curiosity. A poacher, half-eaten, tangled in nets, gasps rippled. Jack whispered, "Didn't see that coming." The lioness hadn't just been defending territory, she'd fought for her cubs. Relief and dread mingled. Serena murmured, "The poor thing." Kaleb calmed the lioness as authorities secured the scene. Man and beast shared a final glance, mutual respect and silence before retreating. Quiet, settled, leaving us changed, bound by awe for nature's fierce balance and the cost of survival. Thank you for watching. If you like this story, don't forget to hit the like button, subscription, and ring the notification bell so you never miss our upcoming story.